Captain Ibrahim Traoré just welcomed the president of the MK party, President Jacob Zuma. The two men had a one-to-one conversation in the office where they discussed different matters which concern the Pan-African movement. But President Jacob Zuma, on his way out,
he said a lot, but I don't want to say much. I want you to first to pay attention to what Jacob Zuma have to say in his interview. Then I'll be back with more analysis before I get to give you my thoughts.
Discussion was about this continent, Africa. As you know, Africa was colonized many centuries and oppressed, and every other thing was done by people who came here. Africans decided to say, let us now be free. And we went through that kind of situation and succeeded to have Africa, as they would say, being freed. But those who had colonized us, it was just a bit that they say, we can do this. They continued, in a sense, indirectly, to take everything in Africa they found, to claim that this belongs to them. And they still do it today. Even that freedom that we are talking about got watered down by the manner in which the relations between Africa and the colonizers were. Because colonizers still believe it was their own. And therefore, even having said, we are now free, but the misery, the problems that we still face are the same. And therefore, we as Africans have to discuss that matter and correct the wrongs. I think this country is a glaring example, this country, wherein those who oppressed them wanted to continue to do so. What was good with the leaders here, they said, not now. And it was therefore important to discuss with the president here. What can we do to ensure that this process that has been taken begins again in Africa to finally liberate Africa? If you look at what has happened, you will realize that the colonizers, since the time up to now, still believe that Africa belongs to them. And what we are discussing is, no, that time must end. We should run our own affairs. It's absolutely important. We can't even say we'll talk on this under the carpet. No, it's just facts. We discuss things related to what I've just talked about, and as you know, I can't give you all the details because we were discussing as Africans, and we are not necessarily saying we want to tell the world what is happening. We want to say, we who think alike now, what can we do to help Africans to be finally free? That's what we talk about, and I'm very happy to have met my brother here, because I think he's something in Africa that Africa will always remember. Of course, since we've met, it is possible that we'll meet again and meet again and meet again, because we need to quicken, make Africa be what it is supposed to be. Just one small point to make. And I hope Africans will listen to this small point very well. This country decided to free itself finally, not under the yoke of the colonizers, to show that we still have a serious problem. The organization here in Africa put that under the area of them committing a very serious crime which is always talked about. Our brothers here said this is a coup d'etat. It's not a coup d'etat. This country decided to free itself 100% from the colonizers. The rulers of us here, our colleagues, can't see it. They think it's a coup d'etat which was developed by the oppressors to change the kind of caliber of leaders who were there at that time, to remove them. They can't see the difference.
Can Africa come together as one nation in order for us to defeat the power of the Western?
Yes, I think Africa at this time, we've reached a point that we can in fact come together. We can in fact put Africa into our hands and develop it.
What can Africans do in order for them to become a united nation of Africa? What can Africa do in order for them to be united as one nation? What can Africa do in order for us to have one army, one currency, and one passport in order for us to develop our economy, in order for us to develop our beautiful continent, which called Africa? Well, former President of Republic of South Africa, President Jacob Zuma, had given a very powerful interview where he get to talk about global matters, especially what is happening in Africa continent. You get to discuss about what is happened in Sahel regions with the 3 military leaders who have revolted the whole entire Sahel regions by start kicking out the Westerns with their military base. Jacob Zuma salutes what Ibrahim Traoré is doing so far in order for the people of Africa to be aware that Africa needs to be united. Jacob Zuma, he called Africans to listen to this message and be united in order for us to stand together and defeat our former colonial.
Just before Gaddafi was killed, I was the last president who went to his country. I went there to talk to him when NATO was bombarding that country. In fact, I was given instructions as the president of this country that you fly this way, you lower your revolver, and people come from Europe tell us in Africa, and we are in charge. That tells you the story of this continent. At the end, he was killed because he was very clear about Africa. And the Western countries did not want it, and they killed him. That's a reality. Gaddafi was killed because his country was beginning to say Africa must stand on its own and live in its own life. And for that, because he was talking like that, he had to be killed by the civilized Christian kind of people when he has committed no crime, except to talk about Africa, our country. I think the debate is changing, and it is a matter of time that Africa, one of these days, is going to be different. Who are problematic? I think Western countries are. We are still arguing what we are arguing about here because of the Western countries. Why can't they go and sit where they are? If they want to buy something here, we sell it to them. Why should they take our stuff, have it, sell it to us, do everything? Why? It is too late. They should have done long time ago. Because it is wrong. Why are the forces of a French country are stationed in Africa, in the country of somebody else? Why? It's because they think they are our fathers. And I think that time has come. We cannot longer wait for that. That is part of the problem we have. Part of the problem we have. Why should a country threaten countries in Africa as if it's talking to the small boys? You can't do this, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Don't you see something wrong there? Why? Because a country should do what it wants to do. Why can't we have peace that people who live in their own, they must be allowed to live wherever they are? If they've got resources, they must sell their resources to enrich their countries. Why should be some little small countries being more powerful and everything against other people in other countries? From slavery to being colonized. Colonization, what it meant? It actually meant the big countries take small countries, just take them. You are now my country. That's why we ended up with colonies, something funny. And they were going to sit with us forever because they think we are not sufficient human beings. It's not true. We need to fight forever, liberate ourselves. Our own wealth is enriching countries out there whilst we are being starved where it is dug from. It cannot be allowed. We are all human beings. There's nobody who has more eyes and more noses and more mouths. We are the same. Why can't we have the same respect? Africa is an important continent which must still jump higher to reach its real position.
The unity of Africa, it is the only weapon we are left of in order for us to defeat all these people, in order for us to destroy their strategies. So when President Jacob Zuma spoke about the unity of Africa, me as Pan-Africans, I believe that is something which is supposed to be celebrated, and we salute him for that, because that is the reason why we have created this platform, so that we can preach the gospel about the unity of Africans. It is only that way we will be able to develop our African continent. It is only that way we will be able to create even more jobs and fight against unemployment in Africa continent. It is only that way we will be able to stop calling each other foreigners. Yes, it is only that way we will stop to making other African brothers and sisters to travel all over, leaving their countries to come in South Africa or maybe to go somewhere, all because they are looking the green pastures. That is the only way we can try to stop all these kind of things, because the economy is going to be growing up all over. Instead of someone leaving their country to come and live in your country, they'll instead come and do business and go back to their country, continue doing other activities. The day we will understand that, then that is the day we can say that yes, the unity of black people, it is very important. Because in order for us to even get to that point, we first need to change our mentality. Our mentality, guys, is what is killing us. Because when we're busy talking about the unity of Africans, some people are outside there, they're insulting us. Some people are outside there, they are looking at Jacob Zuma like, look at this one, what is he talking about? Some people, they are out there calling us names. Forgetting that, no, we need to change that kind of mentality. We need to see the good sides of the unity of Africans. So, the message of Jacob Zuma in this part, it was very important, and that is something which needed to be celebrated. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video until now. Jacob Zuma called for the unity of Africans. Jacob Zuma support Ibrahim Traoré. Well, that's what he had to say. But you, when you listen to his message, what do you have to say? So feel free to drop us your comment in the comment section. Tell us also what you think about this. Above all, give us your thumbs up, like this video in your numbers. We'll really do appreciate that. But don't forget to subscribe also to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel for more videos like this to come, because this is Pan-African platform where we get to discuss matters that are surrounding Africa continent and Africans all over around the world, including diaspora. So we're looking forward to see you again in our next video. I believe that will be all for now. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.